How we feeling? Good? All right. Well, first off, I just want to thank y'all for being here on a Monday night? On a Monday night, I'm forgetting the day. At the end of the day, this is about the fight for everything and everyone.
If you win, you're probably going to be the first Gen Z politician elected to Washington. Just talk to me about why you decided to run and what that moniker will mean for you.
To be honest, when they first asked me to run, the first thing I said was no. And I said, I'm not running for Congress. You know, at the time I was working at March for Our Lives, the organization that came out of the shooting that happened in Parkland. And it wasn't until I had a conversation with my biological mother. I was adopted at birth. Never knew anything about my parents. And I remember, you know, about a month before I announced my campaign, I got connected with my biological mom and spoke with her about the conditions of my birth. I remember finding out I'm one of 8 siblings and hearing from her mouth that she had me at the most vulnerable point in her life changed my whole life. You know, my organizing principle is seeing the world through the eyes of the most vulnerable. And that's something I'm always thinking about. And so connecting with someone I had never met before, who was the person who gave birth to me, saying that I came from her most vulnerable point, I hung up that phone and said I'm running for Congress. We're 22 days away from Election Day. Y'all say 22. 22. Say 22. 22. Say 20 frickin' 2. 20 frickin' 2. Okay, keep that in mind, right? Every day that goes by, we're knocking doors, we're making phone calls, we're reaching out to voters. This election is gonna be a close one.
This midterm is coming at a time where Biden's unfavorables are skyrocketing. A lot of people asking whether he should be running again in 2024.
Yeah.
Do you have a position on how well he's doing, whether he should be running again in 2 years?
I don't have a position on whether or not he should run right now. You know, I think President Biden has done a great job of getting our country on track as far as COVID is concerned, ensuring that we got, you know, vaccinations to people, especially our most vulnerable communities. I'd like to see more action on gun violence. This is something that I've been critical about with not just the president, but Democrats as a whole, not just Democrats, but politicians as a whole in DC. You know, the levers we're used to pulling when we have crisis in this country, they're not working anymore, because we have new opposition. Donald Trump, the alt-right, these fascist people who are scapegoating vulnerable communities, they are playing by a different rule book, and it's brand new and it's horrible. And we need on our side to think in a different way about the levers we're gonna pull to protect people. And you know, I think a lot of it is, I don't wanna say generational, because there's a lot of folks across the spectrum of age that agree with this, but it's just a different style of politics. It's a different brand of politics. It's one that's a bit more aggressive, and the right is leaning into that. And guess what? They just revoked the rights of over half of our population, one of the most intimate human rights. We gotta get more aggressive. And when people are going into the ballot, yes, it's my name on there, but it's not just about my name. It's about healthcare for every single person, because they deserve to be healthy by virtue of being human. It's not about my name. It's about ending gun violence in this country so people can go to school, can go to work, can go to church, and not fear being gunned down. We're up against some huge issues. But what excites me is when I close my eyes and I think about the future that I wish I was born into. The world I wish I had. And that's what we're fighting for, y'all. So again, y'all, thank you so much for being here. You know, I always quote her, but Barbara Jordan said it, what the people want is simple: a country as great as its promise. This is part of that promise. You're a part of that promise. So just thank you so much for being here.